Got the pad finished up. I think it was like 168 loads total to get it built up. Rolled in 2 different directions every lift, and then since I don't have a smooth drum roller, I kind of take the loader and go back over and just skim the top. I let it sit here for a day or so. This is July 5th, so I didn't work yesterday on the 4th, so I just kind of skim over the top with the loader. It was still a touch low back there, which part of it jogs in because the edge of the pool is going to go there, so that doesn't really matter. And then the electric company is supposed to come try to take this pole out hopefully next week. I kind of thought about it, but with that transformer on there, that thing's full of oil, so I was like, and it's still, the cables are hooked up, so I didn't want to grab it with the excavator then have it tip over and bust everywhere. So they'll pull that out, and we'll probably just either fill that hole full of concrete or clean rock, or I mean, I guess I could dig out a big section and then roll it back in, but because these 3 poles are going to come out, and then that one over there, they'll set a new transformer, or maybe even just switch that one to that, and eventually the power will come off that other pole and run up to the garage. So but yeah, I kind of just get that so it doesn't have these little divots. It's not supposed to rain any, it's just supposed to be extremely warm, so it probably didn't matter, but at least it kind of smooths it up, make it a little easier to walk on. The concrete guys can show up and paint their lines out. So now we're just going to spend some time in the dozer and dress all this up around the pad and kind of shape and rough in the backyard and side yards and stuff. So I think as low as that is over there, I'm going to shove some of that dirt out of the way first, and then just kind of spread the ashes out, because it's going to be buried at least a foot or 2 underneath the backyard. And as long as there's no big chunks, that should leave some good nutrients in the grass. So but we'll kind of scrape all that off, get it down to the very bottom, and peel all that back, push it in there, and just like I said, just take all this stuff and kind of dress up around the pad, clean that up, and then that's where the borrow pit's at. I'll take all that junk and shove in there. I don't know if I'm going to have enough to fill the whole borrow pit in, but we'll use that. And I talked to the homeowner, and if nothing else, I'll just when I got stuff hauling off from jobs, I'll bring up here and throw in there till we get that thing filled in. And I would guess by the end of the summer it'll be full, and there may be more junk here that we could throw in there. So yeah, now we'll just jump in the dozer and spend a few hours just dressing some stuff up. Well, here is the completed pad. Got it all put in, rolled in, and slicked up the other day, and then today I just kind of finished up, kind of slicking up everything, knocking all my piles down with the dozer and kind of tracking them in. It took 142 loads of clay to build the pad, and then an extra 30 to fill in the basement, because that's where the original house was at, right there. So the new house really is not even on the existing pad or area where it was at and stuff. And then I got the big spoil pile knocked down. I only got the borrow pit maybe a little over halfway full, so I got a place to dump some stuff the rest of the summer, so that'll be good. I'll probably be back in a week, I think is what the concrete guy said. I'll dig the footings on here for them to come in and pour. Met with the electric company came out today, and they're going to try to draw this job up. They're going to take these 3 poles out and set that transformer on that pole, because eventually it'll be buried from there to the back side of the house. But hopefully they get out next week and get that pulled out. The concrete guys can put their footings in and kind of start framing some of that up, and guys can just drive through the garage. But it would be a whole lot easier before they started forming up the sides of the slab. Even if the footing's in, they can drive their truck in there to get that. But yeah, like I said, I kind of got everything slicked up. The yard kind of somewhat roughed in for now, so I'm sure it'll change a little bit between now and the end of the project. But this is what it looks like now, so a lot different than what it was a couple weeks ago. But for now, this one is a wrap, and we will just see you guys on the next one.